My name is Beth Phillips. I'm a 3L at the University of Denver Sturm College of Law. After college, I took about 6 years off and worked before I went to law school. And I did this to make sure that I knew that I wanted to go to law school and that I'd have a better idea of why I was there. Before I went to school, I was really only deciding between two schools, and in order to make that decision, I asked around 45 attorneys in the area about their hiring preferences and about whether they see law students that are excelling in their job right away. And it became clear to me that DU's practical education was paying off in the local market, and that's why I decided to go to school there. I remember at the beginning of law school hearing about the Sturm College of Law's strategic plan. And throughout my 3 years at law school, I really saw how that plan was integrated into the law school's curriculum. I took advantage of opportunities to get practical education, knowing that in this legal market, I needed to be as practice ready as possible. I think that law schools play a unique role in the legal market, and that both law students and legal employers rely on schools to train their students. Students pay their tuition money anticipating that they're going to be ready to be a lawyer when they graduate, not that they're going to have to learn on the job for years after that. And I think likewise, employers expect that when they hire a graduate of a law school, that person's going to be ready to practice. So I really think that DU's position, taking on the strategic plan and making sure that students have the most opportunities to become practice ready, is something that more law schools should do. This summer after my first year, I worked for a judge at a Colorado court. I was really surprised at what I didn't know. During your first year of studies, you learn about all the different aspects of the law, but most of the cases that you read are from the early 1800s or 1900s. So when a judge asked me to research an issue for him, although I knew how to find the case, I didn't know exactly what to do to give him the application that he needed for the case at hand. During my second year of law school, I participated in the Community Economic Development Clinic at the Sturm College of Law. This clinic is a transactional clinic, and last year was its first year. It was modeled after working in a law firm, and as part of the clinic, we got to work on client counseling, representing for-profit and nonprofit entities, and working on negotiations. Throughout my experience in the Community Economic Clinic, I learned skills that helped me during my summer at working at the law firm. I learned how to keep track of my time, which my professors told me not to underestimate the skill in that. I learned how to approach legal issues that I knew nothing about. I felt confident that I knew how to tackle the questions, and more importantly, in my opinion, I learned what questions to ask when I was first presented with the issue, so that I didn't have to go back later and figure out what I didn't know. One of the ways that I benefited from my experience in the clinic was learning how to take the abstract legal concepts that I learned during my first year of law school and apply them to clients in a real-life setting. For example, in my contracts class, it was taught like a traditional contracts class, and we really didn't ever look at a contract. So during the clinic, when I began drafting a contract for my client, I learned how to apply those abstract theories to a real-life setting. Through my client representation in the clinic, I was faced with some ethical dilemmas, and I was forced to learn how to resolve those ethical dilemmas in a way that wasn't presented so neatly as it was in my legal profession casebook. I had to take into consideration my client's real problems in coming to a resolution of the issue. I faced an ethical dilemma with one of my clients. I was worried that she was trying to mislead the other side, and when I was advising her not to, my professor encouraged me to ask her the question why. And when I did ask her that question why, I learned so much about her motivations, and it was then that I was able to provide her advice about her ethical dilemma, and I actually felt like an attorney at that point.